Cartoons you should never watch in front of your kids. Today's kids have an absolute treasure of animated stories to pick from, as the world of animation is massive and has a diverse setting. Modern cartoons show that kids' stuff can be just as great as anything else, and although it has been linked with children, especially in the West, there's continuously been a flourishing realm of animation designed for grown-ups. Want a chance to win an Amazon gift card? Watch till the end to find out how. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications. There is no denying that some of these adult cartoons are innovatively good, but they all have one important thing in common: they are categorically not for kids. Here are some animations that are among the most important to keep from impressionable eyes. Cool World. Although Cool World has many similarities to the 1988 Disney classic Who Framed Roger Rabbit, one must be able to distinguish one massive difference: it is extremely not for kids. Though it also tells the tale of an unfortunate dude living an animated landscape, the titular Cool World lures him with all manner of R-rated debauchery, most blatantly in the form of femme fatale Hollywood. Holly is a comic Aphrodite, who yearns to become a live-action Noid, a route she achieves by sleeping with our human central character. If you're considering to share an innovative blend of live action and animation with your kids, stick to the residents of Toontown, even with Jessica Rabbit's despicable games of patty cake. Stripperella. Stripperella is a Spike TV cartoon that debuted in 2003, created by Stan Lee. Although Stan Lee oversaw the creation of household names like Spider-Man, Black Panther, and the Hulk, the Pamela Anderson-helmed Stripperella is far from family-friendly. Its titular female lead is one Erotica Jones, yes, really, an exotic dancer whose side job is as a superhero. Her enemies include Dr. Caesarean, Pushy Galore, and Queen Clitoris. She has a brother named Chipperella, also a stripper-turned-superhero, while her home base is called Tenderloins. The series was more of a novelty than anything else, where only 13 episodes were made. Still, it's worth a peek as long as it's kept far away from any young Lee fans in your life. Clone High. The premise of cult classic Clone High is Cleopatra, Abraham Lincoln, and JFK walking into an American high school. Set in the imaginary town of Exclamation, Clone High follows the ordeals, victories, and many very special lessons withstood by a group of teens who happen to be copies of famed historical figures. As you might expect, they're part of a shadowy government experiment, but that matters a whole lot less than anti-drug assemblies, winter proms, and student elections. Clone High's brilliance lies in its grip of disparity. Of course, the clones struggle greatly to match their enormous statuses, as conscious as the audience is of just how mediocre they are when set next to their ancestors. However, the principal tension comes to realization most delectably in the show's commitment to imitating teen soaps, hence you get a cartoon as bizarre as it is entertaining. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Space Ghost Coast to Coast is a talk show starring one of Hanna-Barbera's less popular heroes, in which actual celebrities are interviewed. If anything, Space Ghost only grew stranger with time, and it's also one of the shows on this list most easily mistaken by a kid for something aimed at them. Space Ghost doesn't bombard the watcher with violence or sex the way other shows on this list do, dwelling instead, with unreal calm, in a valley of the illogical. Early seasons show Space Ghost not quite aware of who his guests are or how the world works, while later seasons see him wager a shampoo that makes you smarter, stricken by a curse that drives him to cannibalism, and burdened with dreadful licensing deals. Although the show is a creative force of nature, responsible in large part for what would go on to become an entire generation of adult animation, kids will possibly just be shocked by its journeys of dark fancy, or given an entirely unseemly idea of Space Ghost's fame as a predictable superhero. Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal is an anthology of short, bright stories taken from the magazine that features all kinds of savages, astronauts, and strange alien sceneries, indulging in a fortune of truly wild stories. But despite all the glowing green rocks and ultra-modern images of New York present in the film, it is also filled with many curvaceous babes, cruel murders, and inhalations of space cocaine. It's a movie devoted to the idea of a juvenile boy, as wildly imaginative as it is intensely lewd, taking every chance it can to populate its bizarre settings with curvaceous, scantily clad shield maidens, virgin sacrifices, and wicked, though sexually available, queens. Orel. Orel is a stop-motion series from the mid-2000s, a shocking deconstruction of mid-century Americana. Orel, our naive hero, is the sort of kid that just wants to grow up to be like his dad, and to do right by God. But things are not what they appear in the outwardly devout town of Moralton, as revealed in 3 seasons worth of dysfunction in the series. His father drinks to suppress his disenchantment with life. His mother neurotically cleans to avoid having to parent, while his pastor's belief in God's love is all gone. Though this isn't a despairing story, it's an unsparingly dreary look at the price of conformism, where every instant of darkness is also a moment of delicate tension between form and content. The Oblongs. Adult animation has plenty of family-based sitcoms. Yet even in that packed arena, The Oblongs stands out as mainly peculiar, and particularly hilarious. The titular Oblongs hail from the valley, a place so polluted by the extravagant lifestyle of the nearby hills that every member of the family is distorted. The show is a razor-sharp account of class inequality, but the show's core is as much a part of the series as its sardonic advantage. Central character Milo's family are complete losers in the game of life, condemned by conditions so past their control as to be almost allegorical, but their love for each other stands no matter what. Although its gross-out comedy might make it appear most consistent with Family Guy, at heart, The Oblongs was a precursor to Bob's Burgers, as it's the story of a family surviving, one polluted day at a time. Want a chance to win an Amazon gift card? Like, subscribe, turn on notifications and answer this question in comments. Which of these animations was your favorite and why? Winners will be chosen randomly in comments, so make sure to come back and see. Fritz the Cat. 1972's Fritz the Cat was originally X-rated, the first animated film in the United States to be so. Adapted from the legendarily forbidden work of cartoonist R. Crumb, Fritz the Cat revolves around the titular wannabe poet on a voyage through the free love era's depths of self-satisfaction. Although director Ralph Bakshi has properly recognized that Fritz the Cat is less scandalous by today's standards, it's still pretty lewd stuff. After all, this is a movie in which an anthropomorphic cat participates in group sex, does drugs, escapes the cops, and ends up on a motorcycle with a neo-Nazi rabbit. Aeon Flux. Aeon Flux is a show with an image of the future that's as sophisticated as it is alarming. The main character Aeon is a killer, locked in an everlasting battle between the radical country of Monaca and the mercilessly systematic nation of Bregna. There's no other place to live upon the devastated earth of the far future, making Aeon's charge as critical as it is futile. Her world is one of extremes, and Aeon herself is so ridiculously sexualized that she goes totally loopy and ends up weird. The 5th season of Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack, a neon-limbed tale by Genndy Tartakovsky of a time-displaced samurai, was one of the coolest things a kid in 2001 could see on TV. And indeed. While robots bleeding oil and ravers with pacifiers hinted at violent films and drug-soaked parties, respectively, Jack only ever alluded to these inspirations, borrowing their outlaw cool without portraying the actual law-breaking at hand. At the time, it could be watched by kids, and it was a breakthrough success so beloved that it was given an opportunity to finish its story properly, 13 years after it went off the air. Enter Samurai Jack's 5th season, which aired in 2017. Jack's viewers had grown up in the superseding years, and the show respected that by making a definite season for the adults they were. But Samurai Jack did not shift tone completely, although the Jack revival earned a TV-14 rating. Blood flows thickly, assassins are skewered in spears, and there are fleeting suggestions of sexuality. Did you find out how to win an Amazon gift card? Be sure to watch again to find out how. Be sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching and be sure to check out our other videos.